us, I'll do something like I'm Supreme Overlord, and I'll pause, and then you do your thing, and then you want to go.
You're already on.
Oh no, we're practicing and we're live. What's going on, guys? I'm Supreme Overlord. We're here with the all things raid podcast. We're going to be talking about some trending topics. The new champion. Wally, you want to take over and we'll get right into it?
Yeah. So, pretty much, you guys, we're going to be talking about the new legendary, which is UDEX Art Tour, and then of course talk about our first week in the new challenge account, and let's see what our experience is. But of course, like I said, first things first, let's talk about the new legendary UDEX Art Tour. And if you guys haven't seen it yet, it's already in the game. It's already there. The rewards calendar is already there, so it's already put in the game. So yeah, we're definitely going to be getting this champion by tomorrow. So let's start talking about UDEX Art Tour and, how good is he overall in our opinions. So for the first skill that UDEX has, it is attack all enemies. It's an AoE on the A1. Heals all allies by 5% of this champion's max HP. Right? Yeah, so a pretty decent champion from that. I definitely expect him to have a decent amount of HP at the early extent. So that's ideal. Of course, none of his force upgrades on his A1 is counting towards the heal, so it's pretty much done deal. So if you're trying to quote unquote be very frugal with your legendary books, then of course the A1 is not the place your books want to be landing. But hey, it's what it is. But yeah, that's pretty much simple. So on the A2, place a 50% increased attack buff and a 25% strengthen buff on all allies for 2 turns. Fills the turn meter of all allies by 15%. Right, you could put this down to 2. So then, of course, that base a 2 to 3 turn ratio. Pretty nice skill. 15% sort of feels like a rare skill. I think that should have been like at least 25%, maybe even 30 for Lego, but people can pick and choose on that. But I think everyone would agree on that notion. He's definitely doing some damage mitigation with the strengthen, which is nice. The increased attack is nice as well. I probably believe everyone would wish neither crit damage was added to that a little bit. Would have been more and more better for damage to help out damage dealers. But yeah.
For sure. That A2 makes me think clan boss, and with an ally attack team, this guy could really do some damage, bringing that cooldown even more so, right? So I'm looking forward to this guy. I'm not gonna lie, he's gonna make my main account a little bit better.
Yeah,
not to mention challenge account.
Right. So for the third skill, revives an ally with 50% HP and 50% turn meter. Also place a 50% increased attack buff on that ally for 1 turn. Then activate the revived ally's default skill, targeting the enemy with the lowest HP. So that's pretty interesting for sure.
That is really cool.
Especially with the revived ally that you're choosing. Now, the only thing is this is only good if you're reviving a nuker / damage dealer champion. Overall, it's not really that great if you're just reviving just anybody. Like,
depends on what their A1 is, right? Like if they're in a stun set or something like that, or some sort of utility that it could come in clutch in that specific, but that becomes more nuanced, right? Ideally, the nuker would be what you would want it to get the most out of it, right?
Well, yeah, because you're giving them increased attack for that 1 turn duration, which I ain't gonna lie, I thought it should have been 2 turns, not 1. Because if you're just reviving them, I mean, are you expecting them to just automatically die afterwards? It's like, okay. Because you're just giving off 1, but all right. And then, all that stuff. But, yeah. But definitely, it's a good skill. I'm not saying it's a bad one. It's a good one. And then, of course, on the passive, it says if an enemy is killed by an ally's default skill after being revived by the revival mandate skill, reset the cooldown of the revival mandate skill. So this is easy because now technically when you think about it, right, thanks to the passive, right, Sense of Life, you technically don't even need to bring down the cooldown of the book in a sense.
Mhm.
on the A3, even though technically because the passive does has a 3 turn cooldown once you book it. So technically you do have to in a sense because that is a little bit rough that the passive has to be on a cooldown. And yeah, so it's tough. But I mean, look, other than the A1, the books are pretty easily cheap, right? You only need 2 books on the A2, 2 books on the A3, 1 book on the passive, even though you really wish that was a little bit more.
9 books on a legendary, that's pretty decent for if you to fully book them out, right? And if you get lucky oh no, it's 4. No, I miscounted the A1 actually. So it's not 9. It's 11.
No, you're miscounting because that's 4 books. Then it's 2, 4. That's 8. That's 9 books.
Oh, it is 9. What? I did count it right the first time. I'm just I don't know what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
I'm just chalk it up to a brain fart.
And then as far as the Aurora, it increased ally speed in arena battles by 25%. Again, I like it. I don't know if he really needed to be an arena-based champ. Well, based upon Aurora, an arena-based champion, honestly, because just took just ally speed overall. But but one thing I have been hearing a little bit about across the board is people are saying like, "Oh, why did Sacred Orders got this?" When you look at this guy, right? Do you thought he was a Sacred Orders, or do you thought he was like Knights Revenant?
I thought Knights Revenant just by the armor.
Yeah,
I didn't even realize he was Sacred Order until you just mentioned it. Actually,
yeah, it's very interesting. Like that's the thing, right? It's like there's multiple champions that you can probably say that it belongs in more areas than one. Like for instance, like some who technically, he's mostly Skinwalker, but because of his history and everything, you would think he would be like Shadowkin or something.
Yeah,
like
or Cheshire Cat.
Yeah,
right? Demon Spawn when he shouldn't be.
Right, but everyone has a different. Yeah, it's like they're more likely linked to one area or more, give or take. It just all depends on where they landed. But it definitely was interesting for sure. But to your just hearing out the skills and everything else of that, and then how you take this champion, how are you taking the champion as far as his overall skill set?
I feel like overall it's a really good kit. I feel like I don't have a good perspective on identifying if he's going to be amazing for late game or even past the mid game yet, but from what I look at, that I think there's a lot of potential there. The strength thing, the increased attack, right, the revival mechanic, and then for me, for some reason I keep thinking ally attack. So putting him in a team where ally attack is huge is going to be constantly getting that cooldown, those cooldowns reset, right? So maybe triggering it more often. I don't know if there's some sort of mechanic there. To me, seems like a really good champion. And I'm hoping, I can't wait to get my hands on him and give him a test, because I've been looking for better champions to plug in with Morag for an ally attack clan boss team. So I'm hoping that might be a path to get stronger in clan boss.
Right. Well, technically, it wouldn't work too much if you did ally attack anyways, because remember, the ally attack would have to at least, it will always touch the first skill, so it's going to be the AoE.
Yeah. So wait, doesn't that reset the cooldowns by 1 of everything? No, like every single time a turn goes down, doesn't all the cooldowns go down by 1? So if he takes an attack, then isn't that how cooldowns work? Or am I mistaken? Like I thought whenever you attack, all your spells go down by 1.
No, it's when you take the respected champion takes a turn, your cooldown go by 1.
Right. So then if your ally attacking, isn't he taking a turn there?
No.
That doesn't count as a turn?
No.
Oh. So then so that probably won't work then. I thought every single time he took an attack off an ally attack, that would also reduce the cooldowns of everything.
No. Unless his A1 has a skill that says cooldown a turn or something, then fine. But no, they don't work like that. This would be
yeah, so it wouldn't be as strong as I was thinking in my head, but in an ally attack team, he could be a solid healer and you can build a little bit more sustainability through that. But I don't know. I'd have to look at it and test them out, figure out what's going on. I need to figure out how some of these things work more, obviously.
So for me, looking at this champion, I mean, based upon the A1, and then if you got enough good stun gear, I mean, definitely he's gonna be good in a stun set, right? Nice clear, all that. Hydra, maybe in Hydra he can definitely be used for short. Because I could see if you don't got a Hex champion, you can use Hex. I mean, you can use them, curse set for the Hex, or whatever other type of set that you can pour out damage. If it's toxic set or whatever else you can think of. And then constantly, if you're reviving, the only difference is the mechanic of the revival is a questionary tale, because are you close enough to, quote unquote, knock off one of the heads of the Hydra to then end up saying you're going to revive at that point? That's a questionary tale right there overall. But other than that, yeah, I mean, he's good in certain areas. I think he's more likely a wave control champion for his A1 and then his sustainability. So, yeah.
With that being said, won't he be strong in Chimera then, right? Because usually during the Ram phase, your nukers die, right? So then if he's got the revive mechanic there where it's also placing an increased attack, that's a good situation to have a revive go off with nukers are going off. So will he work in there, do you think?
No. No. Because the thing is, the way how that revival works is, because you got to think about it, right? Other than just reviving naturally, you're waiting on a 4-turn cooldown afterwards once you book it out. So you revive one. Okay, you revive it, now it's on cooldown. The big problem with this skill of the revive is it's on condition of, because regardless, it's only going to attack one person, right? Again, it goes back to like the idea of what I said before. Reviving with only just one turn on an increased attack is just dumb. It should have been 2. And then even if you revive it, I mean, the chance of it staying alive is another thing, because it's not like you're healing on that point. Because
life steal.
Yeah, I mean, because like even if you revive it 50% of that attack and then 50% turn meter, okay, great. And it automatically uses the A1 of whatever the champion's default skill is. I mean, by all means, go right ahead. The only issue is now when it's time to do this, it's like, okay, where's the rest of the team in the lineup? Where's the turn meter thing? Like, do you have a champion that does turn meter that's, in turn base behind Arctor? It's a lot of things that you have to question on how it's set up. That's why I'm saying I don't know what areas for sure he's going to be like legitimate in, but I just know right now the clear conceptions. Arena's one lot, so arena, live arena, tag team arena, whatever which one you want to put in arena, that's gonna be one obvious opinion of where he's gonna be at. Maybe even siege mode, because that's pretty much like an arena type feel, but you're just going against somebody else in the mode of it all. Yep. Other than that, he's really much of a wave control. I mean, Spider for sure, he's going to be really solid because, of course, the heal factor of the A1, you're constantly healing every single time, and then you have him in stun, so it's like, okay, great. After that, he's really much wave control. He just pretty much damage control and all that. So for me personally, I think he has something here. The only thing is, I wish you just added a little bit more that made sense. So for me, it just seems like, because like for instance, the A3, right? Other than just reviving him and just using the default skill, I wish it was a team effort, because let's say hypothetically this was after you did the revive, after you gave them the increased attack, and let's say you had the ally attack, right? Him plus the revive champion does an ally attack. That would make more sense, because at that point, once you attack with the A1, at least you're healing the revive champion, so it's not at 50
dying again,
at like almost close to being healed up. So at least it has a chance of survival versus just dying off. So it's just really hard. So for me, I don't know how everyone's gonna, quote unquote, hit this, but I think he only hits the measurement of like a 3.5 star champion at best.
Oh, like overall rating on like Hell Hades, you think it'll end up at like a 3.5?
Yeah,
Well, we'll see. Yeah, I have no way to kind of
because
estimate that, so I have no idea. But
yeah,
I can't wait to see what he's like and how he affects my teams. So I can kind of get a better insight because I'm kind of clueless when it comes to that. But you make some good points.
yeah. But look, for anyone early game, maybe mid game, he's definitely going to be good for them. I would believe he's going to be a good champion for them.
Okay.
Late and end, I don't think so. No one cares about this guy.
All right.
But
Not
hey,
bad. So that means it's going to make our challenge account pretty strong after 20 days or 25 days or whatever then, because we'll be right in the thick of early game.
Pretty much. So that's something to be told eventually down the line. But other than that, well, let's talk about this part right here. And that is our first week review on our challenge account. So it's been going, man.
It's been going pretty good. Did you want to go over, like, before we go into that, did you want to talk about a couple trending things, like overall the 5 new champions that were released, or maybe I saw like we could talk about the fusion of that epic looks pretty good. Boozer came out with a video today talking about how the using the marooned is going to be an awesome free to play champion. So I'm actually hoping I get lucky enough during this fusion to be able to get 100 fragments for the epic, because I know I have no shot at the actual fusion itself. And then also Nubraids tested out Arethia, and he's thinking that that's a terrible void legendary. So I don't know, did you want to touch base on either one of those topics before we go into our breakdown of our first week?
We can touch those, but I guess right now, because we're already here, so I didn't really.
First 1 week review. Okay, yeah, we'll do that after then. Yeah. So, first week review on challenge. Do you want to go first, or should I?
You can go first.
So far, so week 1 has been actually really, really good for me. It's kind of in a vacuum. Just looking at that, it kind of shattered a lot of my preconceived notions going into this challenge. I thought it was going to be a lot harder. I thought at this point I'd be mostly just working with campaign farmable champions, the best ones to get some sort of footing onto the ground. I did not anticipate of getting as much luck as I did, which is why it has been so expectation shattering, I guess you could say. For me, I've gotten pretty lucky with the account so far. Did you want me to share my account and pull that up, or
here, go ahead if you want to.
Yeah, I'll throw that up there because I have it open anyways. And so so there we go. I got it sharing there if you want to throw it up whenever you can. So I started with Aethel. Uncharted territory for me. So I've gotten her to 60 so far. We both actually thank you, Wally, for letting me know about the notification going to the email. That's how we were able to get Bellower going. So we managed to get that. I've been able to pull a Cold Heart, a Royal Huntsman. Today, not even an hour ago, I pulled Theodore. Gorlos was in the first few days. He was the first pull on day 1, I think, that was anything pretty decent, right? So I've also pulled Ethlin and Stagnite. What else is going on? I have a Dathy. I pulled a copy of Kale that I'm slowly leveling. A Red Cloak, a Painsmith, a Coffin Smasher, a Hell Freak, and a Longsword Torix. And I'm slowly working on Armiger there. I'm keeping Master Butcher because I feel like he might, if I don't have an option for Bommel by the time, he might actually be part of that team. Who knows? But so far, so good when it comes to the account. I've been able to push through pretty hard every single day, trying to get basically as efficient as I can, trying to get through the campaigns. My first goal was try to complete hard mode campaign within that first 24 hours of the challenge, so that I could get take advantage of that first 2x. And I barely got it with an hour or two. That's where we pulled. I forget who we pulled from there, but we've been pretty lucky since then. Clan versus clan is going well. Our clan is doing awesome. Almost completed the personal rewards. And my strategy for shards has been basically pulling them as I get them. So I try to keep 3 just in case, to be able to get the daily done every single day. But as soon as I get the shard, I pull them. That's been my strategy, because I want to test to see if it really is true, because there's those 2 camps that say pull your shards immediately, especially if you're a brand new account, because the champions are more valuable to you as food, or even if you potentially pull something good that you can use, than just keeping them and waiting for them. So at some point later on, I'll transition to saving my shards. I've gotten a bunch of challenges done. We're already on part 5 of the last challenge of the champions. Artifacts almost there as well. Dungeons is almost done. Arena is going to be a slow work, because this one I really have a hard time getting this defense win, but slow and steady, we'll get those 3 done. Arena is not really my strong point, but we're going to try to push it. Missions were pretty good. We're at 60 out of the 76, so we're almost to our first chunk of gems, and that kind of brings me. Oh, and then for clan boss, when it comes to clan boss, I'm 1 keying easy and normal. I can 3 key it probably, and I'm still quite a ways away from hard. So that is pretty much. I've used all my limited series Call of the Arbiter energy. I just yesterday, did you notice, did you get the notification yesterday for the 1 week gift, or maybe the day before? Because I put my my challenge account on my phone, and it actually came on my phone, that promo code. So give 1 week gift a try. I'm hoping that'll work here. And what else? And I did a bunch of magic keep with that Call of the Arbiter and got my 60. So I think that basically is my first week. Great Hall. I got these 3 done and that done as well, to try to get through the clan versus clan. So I've been pumping as hard as I can, in all the free time that I have, trying to make the most out of this first week of the challenge. Oh, you're muted. Sorry
about that. Yeah, no, so I was gonna say, can you show yourself of your champions? Your champion list.
Oh, pull up my champion list. Sorry, there you go.
Yeah, because I noticed you chose to make certain things like because I know you did I know amongst one of your champions you did an upgrade, because you dropped the Ironclad and you fed him to boost up your cold heart, and I was like,
yeah,
why would you do that?
Well, because Ironclad was just basically, I'm just using him for heal reduction to get through the Spirit Keep, and then Cold Heart does that but better. On top of that, can nuke everything, so there's really no need. Life Taker on top of that, I had that as well, so a better heal reduction, because her heal reduction is 100% heal reduction on her A1 instead of 50%. So there was really no use for him, and then he wasn't part of any fusion, so I had to make a sacrifice to get her up, so that way I can get my clan boss damage up. So yeah, that was the train of thought with that one, and I've gotten just better champions. He just won't get used, so based on what I have right now.
So even the faction wars wasn't a thing either?
Right now, I'm not focusing on faction wars just yet. I'm just doing what I can with the food champions that I have, just because if I spend enough time worrying about that, it's going to affect my progress on what matters, like getting my 60s, getting clan boss set up, because faction champions are a dime a dozen. They come at one point here, when we get really into the role of things, we're going to get a ton of ancients, we're going to get a ton of mystery shards, and we're going to start popping blues all the time that we can use. And a solid 4-star team can get me pretty decent into most teams. So like right now I'm just trying to get the minimal out of faction wars and just focusing on the important stuff first.
All right, cool. Is that all you got?
Yeah, that's basically where I'm at right now, and that's everything.
All right. Well, for me, what can I say? Hold on. Let me make sure I got all this pre-covered. Okay, selling that. All right. Well, for me, honestly, there's really nothing much because there's really nothing much I can say on this one. For me, right, I'm not gonna share my screen because I noticed there's a lag going through when it comes to sharing, so I'm not gonna do that. But for me right now, so yeah, you already know I chose Kale because Supreme chose Aethel. So one thing in anything in all this game, so I of course same thing. I was starting to do same piece of mindset, starting to get some champions in the account as much as possible. Try to see where I can land, get some help overall, because of course the entries of Crusader, War Priest, Sniper wasn't going to help it. Even with the entry of Belwar, once you got the code into the game, it wasn't going to be the grandiose help that was going to help you start the game through, start to finish, ultimately all overall, right? But so, of course, landing some shards here and there and constantly going through the game, found some gems, found some trash. It is what it is. It's the same old, same old. One thing's for sure, I'm on the bad cuffs of this a little bit because I do not have the similar luck as Supreme does, right? But I do have found some rares. I ended up getting up Coffin Smasher. Got Coffin Smasher. For my Void, I got a Bulwark. So I got two different champions that can definitely do HP burn. One takes less books than the other, I believe, or they're around the same thing, however it is. But the unique skill set of Bulwark is that punishing defenses, and that 30% chance to decrease the duration of all buffs on the attacker by 1 turn is something interesting. But I have not built him out with any gear yet. So he is definitely a works. He's definitely a works in there. I just have to figure out where I'm gonna do that ultimately. One of my first mini rares on the team that somewhat helped my account was the Grave Chill Killer. Granted, she's not as strong by herself without the supporting help of Frozen Banshee, since the poison sensitivity skill set is needed to be in play a little bit. But other than that, still a solid champion. But the biggest help that I got in a sense was the Warcaster, simply because of his A3, because of that block damage. So that other one voice shard that I ended up getting was a big one. What else? Of course, Bellower through the code. I got Templar through the campaign. The first time I did it on the final boss, I got the Harris. I got a Valerie through the shards. I got a Mother Superior through the shards. Nowhorn, Spirit Host through the campaign. And then, of course, I got Ignite Twist Staff through shards as well. I believe he was through the green shards. I pulled him out of with someone else. Other than that, pretty much everything else has just been some side champions. Some other side champions as far as green, some uncommon champions, and some rares that may be usable in Faction Wars. Nothing really that highly important for me to use now, like at the early extent. So I just keep most of them in the vaults for most cases, but definitely champions like Armager that I could use a little bit later. Some other champions that are very much good in certain areas of the game. They're in the vault right now until I actually consider taking them out. So it all really depends on where I'm in the game and where I'm focusing in the game to really push to use those champions. So for instance, like most of these champions that are in the vault right now, I mean, easily enough can be used in a sense, to fight against Fire Knight, and let alone to be able to use against him in a combination skill set of just turn meter control or just, beating down his shields, because their A1 is probably like a multi-hitter or a double hitter, however it is, right? So yeah. But yeah, a lot of this is really just up for debate about when I use them and then when I want to see them being used in the game. But yeah, but definitely a lot of like early budget champions you can use to really do some maximizing control of Fire Knight. Other than that, some other ones you can use for Spider, of course, and then things of that, and then here and there, stuff like that. But most of these champions that I got that are rares here, they're just niche based controls or need their faction war standards. After that, I did get another epic. It was other than the shaman, it was the Drake, the Lizardman Drake. But that's one pet I'm not really invested in to really consider keeping or to use in any format, to any form. Because, I mean, granted, he has all the damage. He just doesn't seem like he's something to worth keep. I don't know if it's going to be worth it overall. Maybe he may be a wave clear, wave nuker maybe at best. But after that, then he just reaches peak. So maybe I might use him. I don't know yet. It all depends on where I'm at with the game at that point. But yeah, it's just that's how far I have. I have not gotten not one legendary in the game. Not that I cared. Honestly, I really care just more for the epics, honestly, at this point. Don't really care for the legendaries, but if it ever happens, like, okay, well, yeah. But so far, I've just been on that tip. Other than that, where am I with my Kale? He's still level 50, fully ascended on 5 stars. One thing, and then as far as campaign-wise, I'm on hard. Why I'm on hard? Because I had the luck of the gearing early on, so it's like I just chose to like slow it down a little bit and just say, all right, screw it, let me just roll out here. And then of course also I'm sort of mitigating my gear settings because I still want my my war priest right now, she's the fastest one, but I need to get her like 3 different gears with speed on it to be able to be manageably be faster. For the simple fact that, one, I want her to start off with that increased attack buff, because I have her right now starting when it comes to like if it's campaign, if it's campaign, arena, wherever she's at, she's pretty much the start plug of placing that on and then allowing Kel to do more damage. So I need her to be the fastest one in the team. Now, granted, if I raise her up to the next level, of course, with the next 4 stars, which I'm trying to build up some more food for, then she more likely may be able to do that. But until then, I have to at least push her up there so I can get that going. So until I get that ball rolling, it's it's pretty much fool's gold project.
For sure. And then how are you doing? Have you gotten through all your your free resources, like the Call of the Arbiter stuff, like all the, how like we just get wrapped and because like I know I'm already on just energy regen and basically earning my energy through events and stuff like that and challenges. Have you gotten through most of that, like the free energy from the challenges, etc.?
Yeah. So for me, right, let me pick some of this up real quick. So for me, so my main plan was at first, right, when I started, I didn't want to use any of the resources yet because, of course, we was in the novice tournament. I didn't use none of that until damn, I did the wrong thing. Oh, well, don't matter. But yeah, so I didn't want to use the novice tournament. I didn't want to use none of the stuff that they gave while I was in the novice tournament at this point, because while I was in the novice tournament, I wanted to make sure I focus on that first, getting all the milestones. The milestones, rewards. And then once I got all of that, then I was going to switch my focus into now going after the energy, going after the experience boosters and everything else of that nature. Because right now, after saving all of that stuff, all the experience boosts, I'm pretty much still stuck on a week and 5 days worth of experience.
Yeah, I got like that too.
So,
I'm sitting at 2 weeks, 2 days. Holy shit.
Yeah, so just saving all those plus the bottle of energy and just any form of energy you get during the game. It was just a crucial matter of just being able to do a lot of that stuff on a daily basis and all that. So, but at that point afterwards, I was just pretty much morely focused on trying to build up certain champions so I can actually use them to push forward. Eventually after that, it was probably just feeding champions, because I needed to really like get up there as far as ranks and stuff like that, because I was pretty much behind. Other than that, it was just using any of the brews to really max up as fast as possible. Yeah, and that stuff right there. Also, getting the resources from the apprentice pass, constantly kind of line that up and facing the apprentice challenges. So I could end up doing that and being fluent as far as just being as fast as possible. So far, like the last two 4-star chickens are the last reward I need, and that I'm pretty much done with that. Yeah, it's just been that stuff, pretty much. But other than that, it's just me going down to dragons and then trying to keep farming for more gear, and just hopefully being able to reset some of these champion sets that I have on my champions and get them something better to work with, because right now, currently, this is not what I've been aiming for to really use.
For sure. And then in the rules, I haven't. Do we say no? No? Is it going to be a free to play challenge, or are we going to allow the use of buying stuff? I don't remember if we had set a rule for that or not.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I rather we just not like pay for anything right now. The reason why I wasn't really in the mindset of paying for anything, because it was sort of screwed. It was sort of screwed the challenge, because again, I don't even pay in this game period at all.
No. Yeah, no, I haven't bought anything yet, but I'm just wondering what the rules were, because at some point in the mid game and then later into the account, that might be some of the only options. Well, depending on how well we get into. Well, yes, it's all uncharted territory for me, so I'm just kind of speculating at this point. But I thought, should double check to see what he says about that.
Yeah, because literally this was supposed to be a free to play challenge, like nothing more, nothing less, like just.
Okay, yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, so it was just supposed to be just do this, see how far we're able to like literally go into the game. Are we finding difficulties like that's just hindering us, or are we able to go faster? And so far to me, like how does your overall, like how do you overall look at it? Like how's your overall difficulties starting this without no like real assistance? Like, do you see this as something that is harmful? Is it still harmful, or you feel like it's actually more easy than you thought it would be?
Yeah, like I was talking about that a little bit on my stream earlier today, because I honestly thought I'd be, like I said, at this point, just still dealing with campaign farmable champions and maybe getting lucky, because in general, I don't have good luck on my main account or other accounts in general from like ancient shards, 2x events. I always seem to just keep getting epics. Like epics are really good and stuff, right? So like, but I never really had the great like account changers that drop on like my personal account, like my main account. So I didn't think it was going to be that. I honestly thought it was going to be a lot tougher. So seeing what's happened on my account at first automatically made me second guess all the suggestions that we had or changes that could be made, and just come my preconceived notions of how difficult it was. But I also said I'm doing this with a small amount of experience, like nowhere near as much as knowledge in the game as you do, but enough to understand the early game and how to avoid a lot of the pitfalls that brand new players will see. And so a lot of the things that I'm doing have to been able to maximize my progress comes from the experience, the limited experience that I have. So that is playing a massive factor to the progress. And then luck on top of that. The luck, I didn't think I knew I could get through, and I knew I had strategies to make sure that I'm always doing two or like trying to overlap multiple things at once. That way I'm not wasting energy, and I'm like trying to do challenges as well as missions, as well as, you know what I mean, leveling champions. I'm trying to do multiple things at once, all trying to get it to the point where they all kind of converge and I complete them all at the same time. That way I'm being as efficient as possible. But that's something that doesn't really come when you are a brand new player and you just don't know, right? You're just playing for fun, you're enjoying what you're seeing, and none of these things are even part of your repertoire, right? Like what you don't know, you don't know. And that's a good thing when you're trying to identify if this is a game you're going to enjoy, as well as you know, keeping your decision of like like you're keeping you objective, right? To if you want to play this game, right? Unlike someone you know, where it's like me that's starting, that's just a little bit down the road, like 3 months in, 3 months of experience has definitely been quite the effect on my account. So but then, so I'm thinking, wow, you know what, maybe there is no problem with the new player experience. It's actually pretty refined, and Raid seems to know what they're doing somehow, you know. And then we look at your start and how things haven't been. I know that um I've used a lot more resources and I'm a little bit further down the road, so I've had more opportunities to get shards and to open shards. So therefore, it's more of a volume thing, and the sample size isn't big enough to really tell yet. Because I know that as soon as you start completing stuff, you're going to start getting more, some of those sacreds that I've already opened, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and you're going to then start opening them, and then we're going to see what your luck's like, right? So like the sample size there, so like it totally makes me go, whoa, if Wally's struggling like this too, you know what I mean? Like, so then maybe it isn't quite perfect and there is such an imbalance, and maybe it does need to be addressed. So like I've been, when it comes to the pendulum of deciding what my preconceived notion, like, is everything the same to what we said on that first podcast, or has things changed? So I'm like, over here, I'm like, oh, the new player experience is amazing, it's top notch, and then all of a sudden then I see some more evidence, and I'm like, wow, there's a lot to be fixed or changed or addressed. So it's too early to tell probably the sample sizes, but I am flabbergasted regardless.
Yeah. Well, for me personally, I think I'm on the same stuff. I'm on the same tip. It's still the same thing to me. It's like the new player experience. Like, yes, does the Apprentice Pass help you push further? In a sense, yes. Does the new model of the super raids help you build faster? Yes. But the problem is, though, it's still the lackluster of champions at the early extent. Again, a sniper, a crusader, a war priest, it's not really something that's going to automatically change your surroundings enough, especially at the early extent that you barely have enough energy to really work with. And then only 7 million silver. Most people are gonna get done with that in a matter of moments. In most
Yeah,
cases.
like if you're efficient with it and stuff, but like with all that being said, like I fed Sniper hours. Like I didn't use her at all. I picked up a Crusader early. I never even got a chance to. But I was focused on a specific strategy to get me to where I am now. So that's where the knowledge comes from, right? So if you don't know that, then yeah, you don't get the chance, you don't have the champion selection and whatnot. So it is it's a double-edged sword when it comes to that, right? Like who in their right mind, as soon as they go, oh look, this app looks cool in the store, and they open it and they go, wow, look at these things, I need to jump on YouTube and look at a tutorial so that I don't miss it. No, they just start playing, right? And so there is that factor that I'm with you on. I totally agree.
Well, yeah, well, I'm not even just speaking from the fact of just not knowing. I'm just speaking like just in general, like if you just start the game, it's not the idea premise you want to really go with. It's like you got Sniper, you get Crusader, and then you get War Priest. And then, of course, whatever champion you started off with. In this case, for me, Kayle. it's like, all right, yeah. Was it easy? Just the simple fact of just pouring all my blue brews into Kale and then getting to 30? Yes, it is. Was it ideal to just get anything else going? Sure. The thing is with it is it's just like it's very lackluster in the idea of these champions don't really. Because, like, for instance, if you're starting the game, right, more likely than not amongst anything across the board, it don't matter which star champion you have. War Priestess is pretty much your support carry to amongst two champions to go through the whole thing, unless you get something else massive with any other shard or any other ancient shard you get, right? Unless you get the Theodore or whatever other champion, then it's like, okay, you're using something else. But other than that, if you don't got none of those type of pulls, the War Priest is pretty much the main champion you're going to be using to help you carry you through campaign with your starter champion. But then it's this tidbit of, okay, well, she's a healer, she can heal, but the problem is you got to send her 3 times before you can actually heal not only yourself, but then heal overall everybody else on the team, which tends to be a little bit lackluster in itself. And then to top it all off, then the gear, depending on the RNG of what stats you get. So it's like you're trying to do this, trying to do that. That's why I had to sort of like separate my idea of what I want to do, because again, there's not enough energy to move around the way for you to do all of it at a start. So just like how Plarium wants to give away free, silver, it's like you're gonna have to give a little bit more energy at the beginning of the stages of this game. And, even now, just thinking about it, if you go back and go look at the rewards tracks of go look at the rewards track of the Apprentice Pass, that's not a lot of energy to really work with. I don't think so there's any energy that much in there.
I had to be conscious of, after my first 800 gems, I had to be conscious of deciding I'm going to use the next 300 to 500 gems on energy in order to get through certain spots, to get me through getting all the energy, like, because you don't get free energy out of the challenges until like stage 5 or 6 or something like that in some of them, right? So you need to use your energy wisely, and like that's where, when you don't know what you don't know, that's what's going to hurt you, because you're going to end up blowing energy before you even get enough done, and then you're going to be stuck with those beginner champions. I was able to maximize my energy that I had, and I was lucky. I got to that first ancient shard in normal or whatever it was, and that's when I got Gorlos, right? And then Gorlos I used to basically baby Aethel all the way up through into hard, and then it was a lot of just kind of formatting it for certain things to get to the point where I could bring Aethel to 5-star. And once that happened, then I was able to kind of grind through. But yeah, like I was also, like I was saying, I was trying to maximize, like overlap a ton of things. So then early when I didn't have chickens, or I was still waiting for stuff to level Aethel to 4 and 5-star, the Apprentice Pass came in huge, because I forget, pretty early you get like 3 or 2 3-star chickens, and all of a sudden I was like, oh, I can actually, and then that bumped me, right? So, but I had overlapped so many things that it all happened right. You know what I mean? Like, if I didn't do those things, those chickens would have been in the Apprentice Pass, and I wouldn't have done enough to get those, and I would have hit a plateau way sooner. So yeah, like, had I not hit Gorlo super early, he was the one that got me out of normal and hard mode, because those two guys. And it wasn't until and then Huntsman came relatively, like, on day 3 or 4 or something like that, right? So at that point, it was those guys carried me and put me past to the point where I even needed to. I didn't invest into War Priest. I fed her immediately. I also fed Sniper, because I did bring her up to 3-star, because she did give me it was her and Aethel that were my first 2 champions until Gorlos hit, and then it was just a snowball effect. But yeah, I had to be ultra efficient though for that to work, and that's not feasible for a brand new player.
No, yeah, but that's the thing about the whole. That's the whole thing about it. It's like the randomizing of getting a solid champion. Because again, if you don't get solid champions, then you just have to work with what you have to work with.
Yeah, no doubt. That's yeah. So maybe there is so champion track, something like that, to get you force fed some better champions right off the bat. Maybe a few. I don't know. My two, like, it's so early to tell to really change what my two suggestions were, two train of thoughts to help try to get people there. I just one thing that I wish by now we would have gotten like 2 or 3 feasts. I haven't even gotten a feast yet. How do we get our first feast? I remember
Oh no, you don't remember the feast. The feast was a gift.
We got a gift around Christmas, but in November during the Skeletor chase, I forget how we got a random feast. Oh, was that during the track of during the He-Man chase, right? Like the free track.
They gave you exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
Where that one came from. I'm like, yeah, so they really need to put feasts in somewhere where it's just part of the new player experience. At least 3 of them, I think, would be amazing to keep players in the game.
To be honest, I don't even see a need for the feast, because the feast costs you $1 million silver just to use it. I think it's just the amount of chickens they give you that really matters. Because guess what? If I have 5-star chickens, because think about it. If the idea of the Apprentice Pass is to help you build your starter champion to 6 stars, then why is there not like 5-star chickens?
No, that's what I'm saying. There should be like feasts, though, not chickens, because like people are going to misspend those chickens, and having a feast there brings a champion straight to 60, right, or 6 star, and then they have 6 stars to play with, right? People are going to misuse or
that's not how
use like 3-star chickens, 4-star chickens, 5-star chickens. Before you know it, they're going to be in the same spot where they're going to be in level 50 syndrome and have a whole bunch of 40s and 30s and 50 and not even a single 5-star yet, because they've just been using their chickens all willy-nilly on champions that they don't know, right? So like that's what I'm saying. Like feast there is such a big impact on. I don't want to waste this because it is such a huge thing that you get. So it's like you don't want to just like, oh, I'm going to just put it on a random sniper, right? Like, oh, I'm going to wait. And then if you got 3 of them and you got hoarded them up, you can decide, okay, well, I got these campaign farmable champions. I'm going to put them here. Or maybe you've gotten lucky and pulled some champions that it makes instant sense. Oh, finally a champion to put this chicken or this feast on. And then before you know it, the new players got 3 or 4 60s already, instead of feeling like they're so far from them. Like, I got 160 already, but I feel like I'm still so far away from my next 60. I don't have I have a long ways to go.
But yeah, here's the problem with the feast, though. I mean, other than just the cost of 1 million silver, the thing is the feast only ranks you up to the next stage. So for instance, let's say if you use it on your beginner,
the feast brings you right to 6-star.
No, it doesn't.
No, that's how I've used it every time.
No. Okay, so let me help you out. Let's say you're at a 5-star. Let's say you're at you level 55-star. The feast automatically brings you to the next stage. It brings you to a 6-star, yes. But if you're at a 4-star, it doesn't bring you to a 6. It brings you to the 5. All it does is just takes out the measurement of you giving away other 4-star chickens or 4-star champions. That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't really care for the feast. I said, give me 5-star chickens, because at that point, the cost is different. The feast is not really all that great.
Wait a second.
Because then you also got to think about it too, right? Think about all the time. Think about this, right? A 5-star chicken, let's say this. A feast is like you grinding multiple champions as chickens. It puts all that cost of silver into it. That's why I'm like, the feast really doesn't matter to me. 5-star chickens at the end of the day actually do matter, because less cost of variation on silver, and it's just easier to upgrade. I remember this.
Because that I've definitely used it because, like, right now, I just pulled it up on the raid support thing. It says feast instantly take your chosen champion to rank 6. You can only give feast to champions who are at the highest possible level for their current rank, but feast will take them to rank 6 from any other rank. And I've used that before, like where
How
because
that
I
works.
put it on a 3-star and I brought it up to a 6-star, right? That you're thinking the XP brew.
No, I'm not thinking. I'm telling you, the feast does not. So I have to have a feast to know for sure. But ultimately, I'm telling you, it does not take a 40 champion, like a level 40 champion
Yes,
at
it
max.
does. This is right here on the support, on the
They must have
Plarium
changed
raid
it
support
because
thing.
that's
It
not
says,
how
"What
that
is a
used to
feast and
work.
raid?" And it tells you exactly. Feast will take them to rank 6 from any other rank. I've done that before.
I don't see how that works. I don't know because when I used it, it did that. It just took it to the next rank.
Yeah, I think you're confusing the XP brew, dude.
No, I'm not confusing with the XP, bro.
Because
I know
I've definitely put that on the third.
used the feast before. I'm not confusing it with nothing. I used it before. I even did it with other teammates. I remember using the feast. It's not a brew I'm talking about. I'm literally talking about the feast exactly. It just takes you up to the next rank. They because you never know. Because remember, what you're reading is one thing. Okay, what year is that information giving you?
It's current. Let's see here. It's
Because if it's
part
way
of
back,
the current tavern basics where you can break it down. Where's the feast? Scroll down. So, if, for example, it says specifically, if you give a rank 3 level 30 Kayla feast, he'll instantly jump to rank 6, level 1.
okay, feast instantly takes a champion to rank 6. That's what it says. But is
That's what
that
it
what's
does.
actually doing? So that's what I'm saying. We would need one to know because honestly, it has not done that.
It says it right there. It says if you have a level
I've
30
read it,
KO
but
and
it
you
does
add
not.
it to it, he'll jump to
Wait,
rank 6. So you don't have to. That's
if
the
you have
whole
a,
point of skipping having to upgrade them.
I don't know. Give me a moment, please. Give me a moment.
Sure, yeah, no worries. But yeah, no, that's they'd be. I think that's definitely the way to do it, to have more feasts in the game for early game champions. Because yeah, exactly. Because I know I've definitely used it that way, and it's the only way I've used it. Because if not, it's a waste. Because you don't want to put a feast on a champion that you've already invested XP into, because then it doesn't make any sense, because then you're just wasting that XP and everything. You always want to put it on a low level champion that's actually good, i.e. a epic or a rare that's really good. So like a Cold Heart would be an amazing champion to put it on, because it brings her right to 6-star. So that's what I'm saying. That way, giving 3 feasts to get 360s as fast as possible to early players would be the play, I think, so that there's not so many people quitting the game. Because as much work as I've done on this account and already having a 60, I have like maybe 3 or 4 2-stars, 2-star food champs, maybe 3 or 4. No, I think I only have like 2 or 3 3-stars, and I have no 4-star chickens or food. I have no chickens in general. Let me go to my tavern. I have 0 chickens of any star. When I look at my champion reserve vaults, yeah, I have one. Actually, I only have one because I moved all my 2-stars. I did level them up. I have 1 2-star. Oh no, I did open some. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 4 2-stars, 2 3-stars, and 1 4-star chicken. I actually did, yeah, because I had that one. But like, that is nowhere close to getting my next 60. I'm like a week away from getting my next 60. So yeah, this is the stage where I feel like a lot of players will quit if they feel like it's going to be too much of a grind to keep getting 60s. That's why I think the feasts are so important. Be right back.
Yeah, I'm back. Hold on. See, thank you. This is what exactly it's telling me right here. That's what I'm telling you. They changed it. What you're reading is not what it's saying. So that's why that's why I'm literally looking this up. Because as far as what I'm reading up right now, in Raid Shadow Legends, a feast is a special item used to instantly upgrade a champion to level 50 and rank 5. No,
that's old.
Understand what I'm saying. Well, understand what I'm saying, right? They said it automatically levels the champions to level 50, which it never does that. It just ranks them up because I used the feast before. It never automatically just sit it at level 60. But again, don't worry about the levels. It's just understand it just ranks it up. So that's the main thing I'm looking at. And when I use my feast, it never puts a champion at level 60 automatically. It just never.
No, not 60. 6-star, level 1.
But that's what I'm saying. But thank you. See, that's what I'm saying. It will just rank it up. That's all it does.
Yeah, but if you have a 30, you can bring it to a 6-star.
And that is something that is.
So if you had your level 30 Kale and you had a feast and you put him on there, he immediately becomes a level 1 6-star. That's the point. You skip all the grind of having to make a bunch of 30s, a bunch of 40s, and a bunch of 5-stars. That's the whole point of the feast.
All right, hold on. Let me see something.
Because on the Plarium website right here, when you go to the tavern and it gives you this is the current stuff, it says it brings you to instantly jumps to rank 6, level 1. Then you would use the XP brew to bring it all the way to level 60 or grind it out the old-fashioned way and just use energy, but or regular XP brews if you have enough. But yeah, that's why the feast is so important. Like that's why I want in the new built-in 2 or 3 feast for people, so then that way they can get a bunch of 6-stars instead of having to wait so long.
No, do you have it? Share the screen.
Yeah, right here on the Plarium website. Let me see.
And see, this is what I'm reading. It says, great question. Okay, I literally asked this one question. If I use a feast on a 3-star champion, will it rank it up to 6 stars? Great question. And no, a feast will not take a 3-star champion all the way to 6-star.
You're definitely reading something old, man, because
I'm telling you right now is not what I'm thinking.
Dude, put that on. I'm on Plarium's website, so if you're reading a forum post, that's old.
I'm not reading a forum post.
I'm sharing the screen right now. This is the tavern description on Plarium's website, current, up to date.
Regardless of the current. All right, so let me see. Let me look at something else here, because I swear this.
And it even says right here, if chickens aren't giving you the growth you need, try a feast. Feast instantly. Take your chosen champion to rank 6.
All right, hold on. Let me see this. So if it's a feast instantly takes a champion to rank 6. Which champion? You can only give the feast to a champion who has a higher possibility level, but feast will take them to rank 6 from any rank. So, for example, if you give a rank 3 level 30 Kale a feast, he will instantly jump to rank 6 level 1. All right.
It's right on the Plarium website. That's the most current, up-to-date thing that you're going to have. That's what I'm saying. If the new player experience had 3 of those built in, you could have a new player have 3 60s. That doesn't mean they're going to choose the right champions to 60. They can still brick their account, but at least it gives them a chance to get to the point where I feel like once you have about 3 60s, you feel like you're actually starting to play Raid. Right now, like I'm as far as I am right now, I still feel like all I'm doing is waiting for is I'm just champion training. I feel like if I focus anything else on anything else, I'm going to put myself behind, and it's just going to slow down the whole process, and that's just not not ideal. So like getting them past the stage of like getting them to 2 or 3 years, I'd say like giving them like 3 feasts plus a bunch of energy plus a bunch of brews throughout the challenges or whatever reward track that they want to create for the new player experience, in order to get them to that stage. Because like I said, this part is where I feel a lot of people will quit.
It is what it is at this point. I mean, because this is just part of the cycle, so I don't know. I won't know for sure until it actually goes off. But for me, like right now, my only gripe with it is just the honest thing of just the champions at the start, which is why I said got to set up better champions at the start of the game, because no one's not really winning with this little startup plug.
Yeah, they should get like that's what I'm saying. They should have some sort of challenge track or reward system in place, something fusion, even just something to be able to get an easy epic that's actually going to help. You know what I mean? Because it's just, yeah, you know what I mean? It's not enough.
All right, so let's look at this video real quick, and I think we're gonna call it a day from here on out.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah,
I gotta go. So, but let's look at this.
Hey everyone, Nubkicks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids. We're on the test server. I'm really curious to test out this chick. Arathia was bad at Hydra. I think a Hex champion for we're gonna have an arena build on her, and then I'll flip her.
A bad Hex champion, bad for Hydra. Interesting.
that is
do like a merciless build for Hydra as well. But she comes in, and this is part of why I think she's not really a Hydra champ. She has a bunch of passives that kick in.
Right. So for the passive, if this champion kills 1 or more enemies in battle, will ignore 10% of the target's defense. Right. So you have to. So first, you have to kill a target just to be able to ignore defense. Interesting.
Does decapitating heads count as killing something?
Technically it should, but I'm guessing it probably won't.
Knowing raid, it probably won't trigger off that.
If this champion kills 2 or more enemies in battle, this champion will receive a shield buff equal to 40% of the max HP for 2 turns at the start of their turn. If this champion kills 3 or more enemies in battle, each attack will decrease the turn meter by 10%. This effect cannot be resisted. The thing is, I don't even know if you can even, decrease the turn meter of Hydra anyways. So I don't think so that matters, as far as I remember or know of.
I don't think so.
Honestly, this sounds more like a spider-based champion than anything. This does not look like a Hydra, because even like, granted, yeah, there's 4 heads. So yeah, if you kill 3 or more, you know what I'm saying, whatever, you kill 4 of the heads, then it's like, okay, then you do this again. Because one thing's for sure is, one, you have to be this has to be the champion to kill off the head.
Yeah, he's got to be the killing blow for it to count, right?
It's like, okay, if you don't kill off a head, then it's like, I don't know. And I don't think so. She has a lot of AoE, so that's something question. But
strange.
When she's killed 1 or more, 2 or more, or 3 or more enemies. So with 1 or more, which is pretty easy to trigger on your damage dealer, one would hope, she starts ignoring an additional 10% defense. With 2 or more, she starts giving herself a 40% max HP shield at the start of her turn. And with 3 or more, she starts decreasing turn meter by 10%, and it can't be resisted. Now, her A3, increase accuracy for your whole team on a 3 turn, Death Brand on a single target, AoE Hex then on all enemies. She gets 50% turn meter and 10% more turn meter for every debuff. So if she places
damage,
the 5 debuff, she should get 100% turn meter. Mostly for this reason, also with Stone Skin. And the idea with Lightning Cage is to protect her Stone Skin, to protect her shield, and to protect her block damage if buff strippers on the enemy team cut in or whatever, or they try to steal it with relics and stuff like that. I think it's going to be worthwhile. But yeah, so this is not an attack. It's like a buffing move with sort of an extra turn-esque mechanic built in. The second champ in the game with Deathbrand. Then her A2 is her AoE attack. 10% more damage for every enemy under Hex. Ignores shield strengthen. Ignores block damage on enemies under Hex. Very strong against champions like Siegfried and Odin, though Siegfried does remove debuffs with his A1, which can be a problem. And then she gets 30% turn meter fill, just baseline with this, and an additional 20% for every enemy killed. Her A1 gives her 10% turn meter, an additional 10% if the enemy's under Hex, so 20%, and she counterattacks when hit by enemies under Hex. That should be quite strong, actually, for Hydra, but we'll see. We'll see. So I've got no relic on her on the test server. First build is going in 4-piece lethal, 4-piece stone skin. This was, I think, my Carnage build. So about 7,000 attack, 251 speed, 270 crit damage, 347 accuracy. She is stat intensive, quite stat intensive. I've given her a 5-star blessing. At this point, unfortunately, it's sort of a bad thing about blessing. I'm not going to go on a blessings rant here, but certainly for doing test server showcases, I feel like compelled. Give them the 5-star blessing. The champions just feel really bad without it. So the blessing has almost become something that's not really exciting or different to get for your champion, but it's become something that's just mandatory because, you know, how will she compare to a 5-star Thor? She's just going to look really bad unless she herself is 5-star as well. There's no way around it. Anyway, that's the thing. For her masteries, I've gone like this. You could maybe give her Whirlwind of Death, seeing she does like killing enemies, and she's got lots of speed. Fairly standard. I think extend the Hex a bit. Yeah, give her more accuracy. It's going to scale well with her increased accuracy. Give her a go. Let's do it. So I expect her to be best in Arena and Action Wars hard. And obviously Cintranos and stuff like that for the stages she shows up. So the team setup we've got here, we've got an Arbiter who's fast. We have a fast 9-piece protection Freya to give us block debuffs, shield, protected buffs, to keep her alive with the passive. And I think Fabian goes very well with her. The theory here being very simple. Fabian, the recent fusion, he will decrease enemy buffs and increase their skills. This is great. By decreasing their buffs, he can take away block debuffs and potentially Stone Skin, leave them open for the Hex. By locking out their skills, they're not going to be able to do too much against her. And again, they're not going to be able to cleanse it off in theory and whatnot, and she'll be able to Hex them and start nuking them. And then her increased accuracy should be very helpful for Fabian to keep landing the fears and the petrifications on his A2 against like things like a Galathier, maybe. We'll find out. We'll find out. Let's go in for this first fight. But pretty good gear on these champs, I would say. So we'd hope that this will go well. I'm a huge fan of support Freya as well. I think definitely if you don't have like a Sifu, she's a strong alternative. So here we go. I'm going to boost again with the support Freya. Lock him out over here. Cool. And let's see what happens. Okay, so here we go. We'll put it to 1x speed for this. So she's going to go in with this move. You will place a Deathbrand, so a block revive, and Hex. Let's block revive their damage. Why not? Or in theory, do it. So there we go. We can see she got a lot of turn, not full turn meter. She placed 4 debuffs, so she got about 90% turn meter. And that's how much she got. A decent amount. Sure. I mean, let's just boost up with Arbiter again. Why the heck not? We're going to get nuked. She's going to counterattack. The counterattack did, I'll be honest, almost nothing. Marius has, I don't know, done stuff. We'll put on Freya boosts. He's going to ally attack, but the shield will take it. Freya's counterattacking.
What is going on?
He's been provoked, I think, by Freya. Okay, here we go. Now, unfortunately, because Marius took extra turns, and so did he, they've outrun the Hex. So now we've got, even though she got so much turn meter, we only have 1 enemy under Hex, but she will ignore shield and strengthen. She won't ignore ally protection. That's 1x speed. Let's see how she does. Oh my god, that was actually... Oh, there's the second hit. Pretty weak, though. Pretty weak. The ally protection, she did not come close to cutting through. Just petrify, get the fear out there. Let's see if we can reduce the duration on this shield. She's killed 1 enemy now, so she's going to have an extra bit of ignore defense. That damage feels pretty weak. Oh, she just got nuked, but she got her instant turn. Again, let's just Deathbrand him. Oh, she got frozen. That's very bad. I think we might be dead. I think we're really in trouble. Oh, yeah, she's just dead. Damn it, we got taken out. We got destroyed. I'm going to be honest, that damage sucked. I'll be honest. I mean, we'll attack Farbstaff. We might see her be good here against the block damage. The damage felt terrible. That was really, really underwhelming. So he is faster. Oh my God. And I guess we're just dead, right? I mean, we can put this on, but he can strip some of it. Nuke, nuke, nuke. She gets an extra turn, but what can she do? Our A1 is terrible. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I'm honestly so disappointed by what? Oh my God. I was
facing teams that are
I was expecting her to be a ramp up type champion. God, these people are so fast. Okay, and we're just dead because of lockout. People are crazy fast over here. Okay, let's not attack the +1 shenanigans. +4. No. +1. Let's
I mean, okay, look. I mean, granted, is the thing really is like the new champion really doing anything that much? No. But even then, it's like you're facing a bunch of teams that are higher than you. I mean, granted, yeah, you would want to be able to know that, yeah, it doesn't matter what team you go against, it's all about strategy and all that. I get all that. But even then, when these teams are as much stronger than you, 9 times out of 10, as long as they're able to survive, they're going to do what they're needed to do, and that is put you out of your misery. There's not a decent team that you can sit here and say, okay, well, let's look for a team that's fair grounded and then, see how it contents. So I don't know. I mean, granted, don't get me wrong, the champion does seem like she's not that nukerish. She sort of sounds like a pretender.
Yeah, I was expecting more damage.
So her multipliers may be just hot garbage. And in this case, she sort of looks like a PvE type of nuker, or well, not nuker, but PvE, like PvE damage dealer.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just it. Like that's at best. Like I said, spider for most cases, like almost any of the spiders, she's probably the best for that. But other than that, she's just not really that great.
Did you notice that he didn't even, when he talked about the areas that she could be useful in, he didn't even talk about any of the normal dungeons. He didn't even bring up Spider or nothing like them. To him, he didn't even think about early game or nothing. It doesn't even register as a thought process for him to recommend stuff for that.
I mean, yeah, the reason why is because, well, you gotta think about it, right? It's a legendary void. It's like, if you're gonna get this type of champion, do you really want to think about some of the more basic stuff when most of the champions you get early in the game anyways are going to handle that for you? No. So, of course, he's not going to mention it. But that's the thing, right? You're so hell-bent on getting, like, the hell-bent part about it is it's a legendary void. So you would think, because it's so exclusive, because only through Void Charge you can get this son of a gun, there has to be a level of just top-tierness. And it's not. It's trash.
Very strange. Very strange, Plarium.
Not in power. Well, maybe Hades isn't crazy fast. Just to put it in context, we're getting outsped, guys. I guess I don't have a 6-star intimidating presence. I have 428 speed on my Arbiter. So if you guys have ever left, you have to now apologize in the comment. If you have ever left a comment going, oh, no, why'd you build so much speed on your champs on the test server? You're like the worst content creator ever. Like, what the? You have to now apologize. Because you can see 428 speed, it's not good enough. You're probably like, well, I don't care enough. You still suck because I hate you. I really, really fucking hate you. It's my impression of commenters. Will Fabian lock him out? He didn't lock him out, which is less than ideal. Let's just, I guess we'll try for the fears. I know, petrify her, fear the others. Good, he missed his turn because of fear. We love to see it. Let's see if we can strip off that veil from Lazarius. He resisted. Okay, we're getting some turn meter, but it feels like not enough. We got a big shield on from Freya. So it's only 6-piece protection, Freya, not 9-piece. Why she's so fast. Yeah, her counterattack, her A1 is really weak. Like, yeah, she's counterattacking these hexed enemies, but She also just sucks. Her damage really sucks. We'll push her turn meter back, land a fear, which is good. Of course, the Sifi passive that can remove fears. It's not super helpful. Okay, let's just boost her up so she actually takes a down turn. Okay, here we go. The moment of truth. They have strengthen. Guess what? We ignore strengthen. They don't have any shields. We'd ignore them. We have two enemies under Hex. So 20% more damage. Okay, can she kill anyone? She's unlikely to kill him. He's petrified. But here we go. Okay, we killed two of them.
No.
50k there. Her damage is okay, but not great.
Under the right circumstances.
But we did block revive, which is good. And we probably should have just killed him, actually. We'll boost up her attack again. You come in A1, 30k. Her A1 sucks. Like, that's genuinely absolutely terrible. We'll do a couple of fights on auto. Yeah, it feels like her damage is very low. And like, she gets some cool effects. You get some cool effects, and you know the death brand is nice, but she's feeling like, I'll tell you right now, initial thoughts.
So the way how I look at this, she definitely that's supposed to be an attack-based champion. Hold on, let me see, because I gotta look. So that could not be an attack-based champion. That just can't be.
I think was this a support? That's what I was like. Wait, what is going on?
Hold on, I'm about to go look. I'm about to go. I think she is. Well, God forbid she's an attack-based champion. Really? They gave her a 4-star? What the heck? Okay, interesting. So I was right about that. Spider hard. Yep, pretty much. Really, 5 stars in Ice Golem. Well, yeah, the Death Brand. Okay, yeah. Okay, that's fair. Well,
yeah, because then I'll stop the ads.
Yeah,
or whatever.
got a different ideal of what he should put on her from Nubraids, because Nubraid's getting a whole different build. Well, okay, I don't know if she's an attack-based champion, but I mean, I guess we have to gotta look at that when Nubraid shows her again. But yeah, if she's an attack-based champion, then that's nasty work.
Mm-hmm.
I would 10 times out of 10 much rather have a Queen of Hearts than this champ. With Queen of Hearts passive, it's just so strong. Right, let's see. Disappointed so far. Right, we're boosting. We're trying to increase their skills. We did it, mostly.
Anywhere else?
Okay, we're boosting some more. There we go. We've got a Death Brand out. It got all the debuffs just got cleansed. And the debuffs are gone. Well, she'll ignore the shield and strengthen. That's nice. Arbiter has wasted her revive. Their enemies are out running shield and strengthen anyway. Decent damage. We killed 2 of them. It's actually not too bad. Now they've reset his cooldown. He also ignores shield, but he hits a lot harder. Good hit from Freya. Support Freya doing some good damage. Arbiter's polymorph. Lightning Cage keeps some stuff on. Counter attack there. A1. Oh, extra turn. He's done an A1 again. I'm not sure. Oh, I guess his A1 increased her skill cooldown, actually. That must be what it is. That worked quite well. He's trying to nuke her. Didn't do much, but it pushed the turn meter back. She didn't have increased attack. Okay, we got through. It was not pretty, but we got through with her. Yeah, I don't know. Like, in terms of Void Legendary, she's not wowing me. She's fine, but she's not wowing me. I mean, let's try it against the Sifi. Queen of... I really do think Queen of Hearts is initial thoughts a lot better. Maybe, and this is the area where I had the most hope. Okay, can we cut in? Oh, Queen of Hearts. Oh, it's got ally attack, though. That's actually good for us. Wow. Yeah. Wow, never mind. It's not good. It's not good. It's not good for us at all. It's really bad for us. Arbiter's dead, and we're dead. Yeah. Very underwhelmed.
That's probably...
Very underwhelmed by this chick. Maybe in...
Yeah, this...
I think we've seen enough. Underwhelming until we really can put our hands on her and try to give her a test to see if we even get her, right? I don't know. Is she just part of the new faction that's coming out, or...
No,
she's one of the new champions.
Part of the new
she's one of the new Legos. Is she coming at a
me-
champion chase or
this
a fusion or?
For Arena, I wouldn't want to build her. I'll be honest. Wouldn't.
Okay, so she is an attack-based champion. She is an attack-based champion.
Yeah,
So that's worse. That's
worse.
so garbage. Attack-based champion, you can't even nuke.
it is what it
Some shit
is.
That. So, yeah, I don't know.
Good gravy.
For me, definitely a pretender. She's definitely a pretender. I look, Hell Hades already got her at a 4-star in ranking,
What is
but
this?
I don't know.
I don't know enough to be able to accurately say. I think I need, I'm still in that stage where I got to do a lot of trial and error. But based on just what I saw there in those battles, man, that was rough. I know that if I had her on my account, I wouldn't have the items, the artifacts or anything to get her to being worth anything, anyways. So it's not like it's affecting my progression or anything like that. But still, kind of weird.
Yeah, but definitely not that stronghold of a champion.
Doesn't look
Honestly.
like it.
Let me see. Is there anything else he's mentioned here? But I know he's gonna try to test something else here. All right, he's gonna test Hydra. So let's look at this.
Or how we go. There's her A1. I think that was the 170. Okay, hit. Okay, she goes in. And here we go. So we get increased attack from Butch and then Chris and Madden extend it. Oh, she's actually outrun it though this time, but it's fine. So long as Podrick keeps going before her, it should be fine. Oh, wait, I think I'm missing gear. On Lazarius, I think it's missing gear. He should be giving us increased attack. Hang on a second. I think, yeah. I gave all my Lazarius gear to Arbiter. Arbiter stole it. Take it back. Okay, there we go. My bad. This should be much more favorable for her because now she's going to be getting more turn meter, a very consistent increased attack, and so on. There we go. We still missed the block buffs on one of them, but it's fine. Okay, cool. Mixture most foul. Again, this should be a decent hit. I mean, we could see Michinaki did that much. There we go. She's buffed her accuracy. She's getting ready for AoE. We now have decreased defense on most of the heads. We missed one of them. Here she goes, I think. Yeah, here she goes. 90k. She's hitting for about 200k per. Not bad damage. Not crazy, but not bad. Now, she should be counterattacking like crazy. Whenever anything AoE hits her, she should counterattack, right? With her A1, because they all have Hex. But again, a lot of these heads don't actually AoE hit. So we'll see. Here we go. This should be a big hit from her. 600. Okay. Actually not bad. Not crazy. It's certainly not bad. We will not complain about that much damage. All right. We're going in again. I want to see her hit a decapitated head. The nice thing about her, she is void affinity, so she won't have any bad affinities. Good. And she will be very consistent at placing Hex. So, she does place that. That's good to know. She will place the Death Brand. Place it, and there we go again. And we can see she's doing decent damage. We will obviously be comparing this to Thor, seeing who does better.
Comparing to Thor?
Good hit. Hopefully...
Thor's a beast.
Yeah, 900k there from the Mad Hatter ally attack.
Okay.
600k from a regular one. We still don't have decreased defense on this head either. Countered for 200k. It's all right. We'll take it. I want that defense. Here we go. Oh, no, is ramping. Ally attack on the Dictated head. 670k to you is okay. All right. I tell you what. I will let this one run out to about 50 turns. We'll come back. We'll see how she did. And we'll let Thor in the same gear do the same. Be right back. Okay, guys. And here we are. 50 turns. We can end the battle at this point. 103 million damage. That's what we got. We're going to compare with Thor. I actually realized I do have a full run with this team with Thor already. And there we go. We can see her versus Michinaki.
Oh.
Okay, better than Michinaki.
We can do a full quick battle. So if we throw this in, I'm not, unfortunately, expecting much here. This was Thor.
Yo, okay, yeah, you suck.
Whoa. Yeah, I was like, Thor's the freaking king of that. How do you? That's a bad comparison. Because
Not
yeah,
even close to Thor. It wouldn't even be
Thor's the
close to
king.
Ninja.
I would kill to have freaking. Yeah, he's more closer to Ninja than to Thor. That's funny. Good Lord. Yeah. Yeah. Weird.
So definitely not a damage dealer.
Thor
Definitely
with
not a new.
going the full team again, same team,
I guess she's a bust.
500 million. Let's see what we're gonna get here. 345.
She got
Yeah,
better
it's
points
a
this
huge
time, but
difference. You
still.
can see
Versus
everyone's doing more
82.
damage at Thor because you're killing more heads. When the heads are dead,
Yeah.
you're doing much more damage. And bear this in mind that some of her
Yeah, both
damage
of
is
that.
hex, right? Whereas Thor has no hex, which is also part of why like Mad Hatter is doing
Exactly.
more.
So the hex
That
is
Mad
only the
Hatter
added part of
Thor,
why you're doing more
here
damage.
is providing
But
more
even
of the
with that, you're
hexes and raw
damage.
damage, which is going into the hex.
Can't come
Yeah.
close.
Again, let's just confirm what we will do. We'll swap over and we'll throw
155
her gear back
million
onto Thor. They're
damage
basically in
more.
almost the same
That's
gear.
insane.
Here we go.
absolutely.
Take the gear off of
She's
her.
all good.
Great. And throw her in. Throw Thor in instead. I obviously have no quick battles left, but we'll just run the 50 turns. And we will see again for Thor. I'm going to set him up to do this first. Getting increased attack already, so he doesn't really need it. Yeah, we'll let this one run out on auto. We'll let Thor land a few hits in here so you get a bit of a gist. We'll wait and see if we get a decreased defense hit in. Well, here's some Thor A1s, a couple of 80k hits. This should be a Thor A1 with Mad Hatter.
I love it when he throws the hammer.
98, something like that. Okay, there's a decreased defense. Here's a big hit from Thor. He's hitting for like 600. I feel like it's a lot more, guys. Right, I'll be back at 50 turns just to confirm. But it's not looking good. Not looking good. All right, guys, we're coming up to turn 50. Are we going to beat the 100 million damage with what's her name, Arathia or something like that? The answer is we've more than beaten it. We've almost doubled it. It's a shocking difference. Yeah, very close to doubling it. Pretty yikes. Now, here's the. In fact, I think we can just end this here.
It's
I'm not even
it's a
going to go
wash.
the extra turn. It's a night and day difference.
So if it's on a
look,
championship, I'm not spending
what's
any
I think
money.
of this champion?
or any
Honestly,
charge to try to pull for
Arathia
that.
Corpse Flower,
That
I'm pretty
sounds
darn
garbage.
disappointed, to be completely honest.
I'd rather
I'm pretty
build what I
disappointed.
have.
Now, of course, in that Hydra team, bearing in mind we had other Hex champions.
Yeah.
that says it all right there. Yeah. About that. Not good at all. That's going to be really disappointing for endgame players or mid to endgame players that are hoping for new champions that can help them progress to just get that kind of, especially if they missed on Thor, right? Because I wasn't playing when Thor came out. I really wish, because that would have been a chase or something I would have definitely gone for.
Yeah. Well, that champion is that's not nothing great. But for sure, that was a disappointment. But hopefully the other champions are a little bit better than her on this list that they have as far as the brand new ones. But yeah. But other than that, yeah, it's been a good one, man. It's been a good one. Any last final words?
No, yeah, it was quite the eye opener. Another awesome podcast in the drain. Now that's 3. All we got left is we're moving on to podcast number 4. We'll come up with some good topics for next week, and we'll see what it is. But yeah, thanks to everybody for hanging out. Don't forget to like and subscribe to both channels. We really appreciate your support and to hanging out with us, because that's what really matters to us.
Yep. All right. Peace out, people. See you
Later,
next time.
guys. Take care.